So, Sea Milk, we're here out in the middle of nowhere, and it's got me thinking. You know, very recently in the news, there's been something that happened that has gotten Chinese people talking a lot about whether Western medicine or TCM is the correct way to go when it comes to treating serious diseases. So I was thinking, how about we hop on our bikes, go for a ride in this we don't know this area at all.
No, never been here before.
Yeah, so let's go take a look. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Go ride around and talk about it. What do you say?
Nothing gets me fired up like talking about medical issues, and I'm already hot, so be prepared for some salty words.
All right, let's hit the road. Okay, Sea Milk, so maybe you can tell everybody what sparked this all off.
It's tough to talk when you're going down this steep hill.
Yeah.
It got all sparked off when a female actress that's really, hold on, I'm gonna sound vibrating if people. Okay.
Yeah.
It sparked off when a lovely young woman who is a famous actress for being on Lost in Macau, which is a very, very popular movie here in China.
Mm-hmm.
And also something about a dad, some TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And her name was Xu Ting, and she, she was beloved and young and beautiful actress from China. And what happened was she actually came down with lymphoma, and that's, one of the worst forms of cancer because it attacks the lymph nodes.
Yeah.
And in lieu of Western medicine and chemotherapy, she decided that she would go the traditional Chinese medicine route. And despite her sister protesting and saying that she should get chemo, she continued with multiple treatments. Maybe you can talk about some of those.
Well, okay, first of all, I want to say the reason she chose TCM over chemotherapy, in her words, was so that she could undergo treatment that would allow her to keep her beauty and talent all the way to the end. So basically, she was afraid that chemotherapy would make her look ugly and, prevent her from basically continuing on with her life. So she was worried about losing her hair and all the painful side effects of chemotherapy, rightly so.
Right.
But of course, what's the alternative, The alternative is obviously to be horribly sick.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So, she went through a bunch of things like cupping, right?
Yeah, let's talk about these treatments that she went through one by one. So the first one is cupping.
Okay.
It's called Bao Ho Guan over here, okay? Mm-hmm. And let's explain what that is. Basically, let's try go down here. Basically what happens is you get these glass bowls, little glass bowls. They put some kind of alcohol solution inside. They set it on fire and then very quickly put it onto your back. Usually on your back, yeah? And because of the vacuum that's created by the flame eating up the oxygen, you basically get what I like to call a massive hickey or love bite. Because what it does is it sucks all the air out, and it basically is like somebody sucking,
It's like if you got a hickey from a blow-up doll.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's basically, we've all been teenagers, we know what hickeys are, right? So that's basically what it is. And the thought process behind it is that it draws the bad blood out of the different organs, you see. And then the body replenishes the blood in said organs and helps to fix things.
That's what you do when you have a big argument with your friend. You guys got bad blood.
Yeah, anyway, so that's basically the whole thing behind it. Now, I am going to go out there and say that I think it works to a certain degree. And the reason, I'm not going to say it's good for a serious disease like cancer. That's preposterous. But for me, I have that story which I've said before. I got a serious case of the flu. My parents had just arrived here, and I didn't want to waste the time my parents were here having a flu, like having a fever. So I went and got that cupping stuff done. It was incredibly painful because, I had a fever. So incredibly painful. I almost passed out from the pain. Next day the fever broke and I was back to normal. So I think, for lack of a better way to explain it, I think it just shocked my system into fixing itself.
I gotcha.
Could be placebo, it could be whatever it is, but it definitely worked for me. But that was not cancer, that was a fever.
Sure. Now, another thing that she did was gouache, yeah? Do you know what that is?
That's when they scrape the absolute crap out of you with some, like a piece of wood or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can talk about that one.
Yeah, you get scraped to this piece of wood. You can get a massage parlors, and it's the same idea. It brings out all the bad blood to the surface, and it leaves these horrible wounds on you, actually. And oftentimes they'll do it until you bleed out.
Yeah,
so they can get rid of the blood. We are literally in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah, we're doing some serious off-roading here. So anyway,
wow, it's like a dried up riverbed.
That gua sha thing, do you think it works?
No, of course not. You're gonna have to avoid asking me anything today about whether I think this stuff works.
Okay, well, I mean, I personally haven't had that gua sha stuff, but to me, I think the logic behind it is that you damage the skin, and so the body kind of will try to repair that area, because now there's, you know, it's been damaged.
Wow, these people are poor.
Hopefully, while repairing the damage to the skin and stuff, it kind of fixes other stuff as well.
Sure.
That's the logic. I don't think it's got any merit to it, to be honest, myself personally. Just like I know you think it's all a bunch of baloney, but you know, we're just explaining what it is.
I just like to point out that there are actually people living down here.
Yeah?
And they were very thin.
Wow.
This is like deep China stuff right now.
Dude, we're gonna have to turn around.
Why? A truck?
Do you think?
Just get off the road.
How? Where?
Right here. Like
That
this.
guy's gonna whack into you.
No, he won't. If he does, he's on camera.
Okay.
It's fine. There's plenty of room.
Okay, I'm gonna get off over here. That didn't sound good. Get off the road here.
He's good. It's fine.
Yeah.
Ain't no turning around today.
Okay.
So, anyway, enough about the treatments, right?
No, we haven't talked about the third one.
Oh, what was the third one?
Acupuncture.
Oh, that's right, acupuncture.
Now you explain what it's supposed to do.
Acupuncture basically is supposed to align the qi in your body, and there's all kinds of different pressure points which have been mapped out through ancient Chinese medicine. And what you do is you prick those areas or put needles into them, and it stimulates that area, because the idea is that certain points in your body affect or heal other points in your body. So if you touch those, it will stimulate the healing process. And you know, there's varying degrees of whether it's been proven to work or not. Some people say it works for depression. There's been no in-depth clinical trials to actually figure out whether acupuncture is a 100% scientific method of pain relief or depression relief or whatever people are using it for.
Right.
But you know, she obviously did that as part of her routine of treatment, you know.
Yeah, okay. And so what was the outcome of her treatment?
Well, she died.
Yeah, she died. And it has to be said that at the last stages, just before she died, she did try to move over to chemotherapy, but it was too late.
Sure.
She was too far advanced and it couldn't help.
Yeah, her immune system had already been weakened too much.
Yeah. So now there are two sort of lines of thought that have come out of this.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of Chinese people now questioning whether or not TCM is effective or not.
Sure.
You know, and saying if she had gone the Western medicine route that she'd still be alive. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the other bunch who are just saying that that particular TCM doctor was a fraud, and if he'd done it properly, then she would have been fine.
Sure.
So
I think honestly, both arguments can be discounted, because there's no telling what would have happened either way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The path was already chosen, and she just, you know, she stuck with it, and at the last minute, obviously it was going to be too late for chemo anyway.
Yeah.
But the real argument is boiling down to whether traditional Chinese medicine is actually effective, right? Especially for serious illnesses like cancer. And it's something that really gets me fired up because of the really skeptical situation I grew up in, with my whole family being science related in some shape or another. This is awful.
Yeah, it is.
And not very open-minded towards, you know, I'm not going to say New Age, but Eastern or holistic approaches. Things like homeopathy and Eastern medicine have never been something that was accepted in my family.
Right.
And so for me, just having a very basic understanding about how Western medicine was developed. Western medicine did, in fact, a lot of Chinese people think they're not related in any way, but was, in fact, Eastern medicine and traditional medicines that had been scientifically tested and proven to work, right? So it's not like they're completely opposing, it's just that Chinese medicine didn't have a standard and code of ethics that actually, you know, was tested and proven under rigorous blind studies and things like this, and testing on animals and actual people.
Correct.
So you know, I'm kind of left in this position that I'll end with this quote, my little rant.
Yeah.
That if I'm going to say Chinese medicine works, and you know what Chinese medicine works? The Western kind.
Yeah.
Because it all came from the same place, and it's already been proven and tested at safe dosages to work.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to agree with you on a lot of things. First of all, Chinese medicine, it varies, man. It's like, it depends on what province you're in, what area of China. They have different theories about different things and different foods you should eat and different kinds of qi and all this kind of thing, right? So even as a thing, Chinese medicine varies so much that it's difficult to put your faith in it.
Right.
But at the same time, it definitely does work. Like, some of it does work, but it's the kind of thing that, like, you can use to treat a cold or a flu or something.
Sure.
And the active ingredients that are actually making that flu and that cold go away, you can find in Western medicine. So,
right.
You know, it's up to you.
Or at least a chemically, you know, distilled form.
Yeah, exactly. So it's up to you whether you prefer to take a pill or drink grandmother's, like, herbal tea.
Sure.
I think there's no harm in that at all. Where I think, I'm going to just say that I think it is harmful to believe that something like TCM can cure cancer.
Yes.
Because, you know, Western medicine can't even cure cancer, you know, and...
right. Well, it can to a degree. But...
Yeah, it's more effective anyway. It's been proven more effective. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, you know, that whatever, TCM's great, it works, all this stuff. But, you know, it's basically just witch doctor, superstitious, herbal, you know, malarkey, for lack of a better word. However,
I think...
Oh, go ahead. However, definitely without a doubt, some of it does work.
Sure.
I'm not saying it's all rubbish,
right.
But like a lot of it's just based on superstition and not on any proof, and it's because grandmother's uncle, you know, once ate a turtle in the sun and got better, so it's
sure.
like, okay, let's eat turtles only in the sun on a Sunday.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
I think that, you know, when Chinese medicine is dangerous and when it doesn't work is when the Chinese belief of how an illness is acquired is absolutely wrong from the get-go. If you believe that you got the flu or a cold because your qi was imbalanced, then you're not going to know how to treat that.
Sure.
If you believe that you got lung cancer because the wind blew northwest on Saturday, then you're not going to be able to treat that, right?
Yeah.
So again, the fact that to me at least, and this is just my perspective, to me at least, the Chinese medicine that works, I think, is an anomaly, and I think those are lucky kind of old wives' tales that got passed down and they happen to work.
Okay, and I'm going to say that the Chinese medicine that does works because it's proven to work over generations and hundreds of, if not thousands of years, and that's why they still do it.
Right.
So I'm going to say there's a whole bunch of Chinese medicine that is actually effective and is actually a thing, but there's also a lot of nonsense that just, you know, is superstition, and it's a placebo, basically.
Now, the last thing that we have to talk about is the ethical issue of modern Chinese medicine. What do I mean by modern Chinese medicine is that using things that never existed in China as Chinese medicine, under the guise of Chinese medicine, I should say.
Yes.
When in fact they are environmentally damaging.
Yeah, like rhino horn, for instance. It was just a couple of months ago they caught a Chinese guy in South Africa trying to smuggle out a whole ton of rhino horns.
Yeah.
And you know, rhinos are an endangered species. And for anyone who lives in Africa, there's always big campaigns to try and stop the poachers.
Right.
And the only reason the poachers want to get the rhino horn is because it's so valuable. Hey, let's pull in and get some gas for you.
Cool.
You know, it's so valuable to the Chinese market. There's no other reason for it, because it's illegal everywhere else, but, you know. So yeah, tiger paws, bear bile, whatever, you know, there's all sorts of funny belief things here that people eat and take as medicine.
It's true.
So yeah, it is a bit of an issue. But that's it. That's the way it is. So
some things never change.
We really shouldn't end on such a negative note, though. So is there something nice you can say about Chinese medicine?
Again, I think the power of persuasion and the mental belief that you will get better, paired with the fact that some of these herbs actually do cure illness, is a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah.
So if you want to believe in it, I think it's fine. But when it comes down to life or death, I think it's foolish.
Yeah. And I'm going to say that I think it's really nice that there's an alternative to people who believe that medicine, especially like chemicals and pills and stuff, are damaging to their bodies.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's nice that there's an alternative to people like that. It can make them feel better, that they can drink some herbal concoction or take some all-natural remedy rather than a pill. Because some people just absolutely, that's their thing. So, yeah, it's good that there's an alternative.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Okay, let's finish up your petrol and then we'll go sign off.
The remote control. Hold the form baton straight, with the tip pointing forward.
Yeah, okay, Sea-Milk, so I think we're pretty much done for today with our episode. So is there anything you would like to say to our subscribers before we sign off?
Well, next time you're feeling ill, whether you want to, you know, bless a mystical herb and pray that it works for you, or take scientifically proven medicine, I hope that, you know, you're healthy long enough to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button.
And whether you believe in a overly medicated Western kind of thing like Sea-Milk popping pills every 5 minutes because his toenail hurts, or
hold on, I can see your horns, devil's advocate there.
yeah, or if you prefer a more holistic herbal sort of remedy type you know, way of life, doesn't matter because we love you all the same. And as always, guys, you know the deal. Let's pull over here wherever we are. Just pull over on this little sandy nook. So wherever you are, no matter what you're doing, guys, as always, where are you? Stay awesome.
When I close my eyes, I can almost sing it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind